As you know, February is Black History Month, and there are a lot of different ways that you can celebrate all around the state. Dave Lorenz from Pure Michigan is here now with some great ideas for you. Nice to see you, Dave.
Same here. Really happy to be talking about this topic because Michigan has so many places where important things happen, where people who made a significant difference in this social conversation about the various races and how we all get along or don't, how all those things happen. So we have some really cool things to see and to better understand who we are at the core. You know, the thing about travel is we can go to places to discover about, you know, the history of people and places, and also to have a better understanding that we may look different, we may sound different, all that. But at the end of the day, we all want a better life for our kids and grandkids. And you get to experience that in places all around Michigan.
Yeah, it's incredible. In fact, we have two amazing African-American history museums that people can go. One's in Battle Creek and then one's in Detroit as well.
Yeah, and you know, the cool thing is there actually are smaller museums around the state as well. But the biggest museum in Michigan, and I think one of the most important places to check out, is the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit. It's in the Cultural Center in Detroit, just a little bit off of the famed Woodward Boulevard. And this is a special place. If you ever have wondered what it must have been like for those young people coming over from Africa, crammed on ships like sardines, coming over to what would become the United States of America, only to become slaves, you get a feeling for that. And when you walk through that exhibit, it's in real life space. You really feel what that must have been like. And I don't know anybody who hasn't had an emotional pull after visiting the Charles H. Wright Museum. And that's just one of the exhibits. They have several other exhibits that give you a better understanding of how important African Americans and their role in the American story has been from those days of slavery to today's days of innovation.
And we're looking at the video of that right now. It really is just so moving. You know, you were mentioning that really immersive experience at the Henry Ford Museum. They actually have the tour. You can actually go through and tour the bus where Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. That's actually at the Henry Ford Museum this month.
It is, and it's an awesome display. The Henry Ford, of course, they tell the stories of America from their perspective in a variety of ways, different times and different subjects. But when you go through that experience, and you really read and see the various artifacts that they have, everything from the Lincoln chair that he was sitting in when he was assassinated. This is something we typically don't think of as having something to do with African-American heritage, but of course it does. You'll even see a Ku Klux Klan outfit at the Henry Ford. They don't showcase that to give any honor to those folks. They want to have you really see what this looked like. It gives me chills when I see that on display. And then when you walk through and you get to actually walk on and sit down in the bus where Rosa Parks refused to stand up, and in doing so stood up for all of us. It is, again, it's an emotional experience when you go through that. It truly is special.
Yeah, incredible. There are a number of free public events actually happening all across the state. So where can we find those? What can we do?
Well, what I'd recommend, because there are so many of them, go to michigan.org. It's one of the sources where you can find events of all types, but do a search and you'll be able to find them. A lot of them are lectures, things like this, and you'll find something that I think will fit your needs. So like we say with everything else, your trip begins at michigan.org.
Yeah, always a great place to start. And also supporting Black-owned businesses, always a great idea, especially this month.
It is, and this is important that you say it that way because, you know, we tend to look at this almost like as a celebration. In some ways it is. You look at what African-American business people are doing today, it's quite remarkable. But if you think about over time the challenges that they had to and still go through today, I think it's important that we think of it that way. You might say, well, why support African-American businesses? It's because, in my mind, they still go through some additional challenges that businesses owned, by others, perhaps don't go through.
Lots of great ideas. We will have all this information on our website. Dave Lorenz, great to see you. Thank you so much as always.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You too.